Have you ever noticed? The more you share, the lonelier you feel. We put our lives out in public hoping to feel connected. One post, then another, then one more story, likes show up, comments too. But the emptiness remains. We think we are connecting, but we are actually drifting apart. Social media promises connection, but delivers silence. Everyone is talking, no one is listening. Every voice becomes an echo. This is the echo chamber where your words only return to you. We expose our vulnerability in front of everyone, hoping someone understands. But the brain treats this attention as temporary relief. The more you share, the less real intimacy. This is the psychological trap you think you're being seen, but you're slowly disappearing. Public vulnerability does not create closeness, it creates habit. People watch, scroll past, and move on, and you write another post with deeper loneliness. This video reveals this silent psychology hidden behind social media. Why oversharing makes us feel more alone, and how social media locks us inside an echo chamber. We live in a world that's louder than ever before, yet genuine listening has quietly vanished from our lives. Everyone is online, but emotionally, no one feels present. We wake up each day and instinctively reach for our screens. Our mornings begin with notifications. Instead of inner awareness, we start sharing moments before we've even truly experienced them. Happiness, sadness, exhaustion, everything becomes public content. We believe that being visible automatically creates an emotional connection, but attention is not the same as being understood. Most people watch briefly, then scroll on, without any real emotional investment. The number of likes goes up, but our internal loneliness rarely goes down. Comments appear, yet they seldom offer meaningful emotional safety. We confuse engagement metrics with real human intimacy. Our brain misinterprets all this attention as validation and belonging. Each notification releases a little hit of dopamine, creating temporary emotional relief. This chemical reward trains us to repeat the behavior. So, we post again, chasing that same fleeting sensation. Over time, sharing becomes a compulsive emotional reflex. We stop expressing our feelings and start feeding algorithms. Social media rewards exposure, not depth or emotional honesty. People don't listen deeply, they just consume quickly. Your story, which carries weight, history, and emotional meaning for you, becomes just another piece of passing content for them. It lasts for a few seconds before being replaced. This imbalance slowly drains our emotional energy from within. We find ourselves speaking louder because nobody truly hears us. We reveal more because nobody truly understands us. Eventually, we enter a psychological echo chamber, a space where our own voices just bounce back to us. Noise surrounds us, but genuine companionship is absent. This form of loneliness feels confusing and invisible because we appear so connected, while feeling utterly emotionally isolated. Our brain struggles to recognize this contradiction. We start questioning ourselves instead of the system. We assume something must be wrong with us, but the environment is designed to exploit our vulnerability. These platforms profit from constant emotional exposure. Oversharing keeps users engaged longer and more frequently. Our emotional openness becomes a resource to be harvested. Private feelings turn into public currency. Gradually, the boundaries between our private and public lives disappear. We forget that some emotions require protected spaces. Not every pain needs a public audience. Healing doesn't happen in front of crowds. Real empathy requires presence, not passive observation. Social media offers reactions, not emotional responsibility. People can react without ever committing to understanding. This creates the illusion of care without any actual care. We receive symbols instead of support, and symbols can't hold emotional weight. The mind begins to adapt to this shallow feedback. Depth starts to feel uncomfortable and unnecessary. We lose patience for slow, meaningful conversations. Offline relationships begin to feel demanding, because online validation feels so much easier and more controllable. But this ease comes at the cost of intimacy. We trade depth for convenience without even realizing the consequences. Our emotional muscles weaken from a lack of real connection. Vulnerability becomes a performance instead of a sign of trust. Trust requires safety, not an audience. Public vulnerability slowly loses its healing power because repetition numbs emotional sensitivity. The same pain, shared over and over, starts to lose its meaning. We begin needing stronger and stronger exposure to get the same feeling of relief. This mirrors addictive behavioral patterns. The cycle intensifies quietly, without any obvious warning signs. We feel emptier despite sharing more and more frequently, confused about why our openness isn't helping anymore. The problem was never honesty itself. The problem was the wrong container for that honesty. Some emotions need privacy to grow safely. Some wounds require silence before they can begin to heal. Broadcasting our pain can actually delay emotional processing because the brain stays stuck seeking external reassurance. Our internal regulation skills stop developing properly. We become dependent on feedback instead of self-understanding. When that feedback fades, anxiety increases rapidly. The absence of reactions feels like rejection. Silence online feels louder and more threatening than silence offline. This keeps us trapped, constantly checking our phones. We start measuring our self-worth through engagement numbers. These numbers replace our intuition and inner confidence. Our mood fluctuates with algorithmic visibility. Our identity becomes tied to our online perception. Losing attention feels like losing our very existence. We forget who we are without an audience. This creates a fragile self-esteem, one that's easily shaken by digital silence. True confidence can't survive in these conditions because it needs internal grounding. The echo chamber reinforces our own beliefs. Algorithms show us what keeps us emotionally engaged, not what challenges or heals us. We just hear our own thoughts echoed back to us over and over. Growth slows down when discomfort is filtered out. Emotional maturity requires exposure to opposing perspectives, but echo chambers reward familiarity, not growth. This deepens our psychological isolation. We feel understood, but we remain unchanged. Comfort replaces development. Over time, our relationships feel increasingly unsatisfying because surface-level interaction can't meet our deeper needs. We crave closeness, but we avoid vulnerability offline. Real vulnerability feels risky after so much public exposure. Trust feels harder to build. We overshare publicly, but undershare privately. This reversal damages our most intimate relationships. Our partners and friends feel emotionally shut out because they receive less of us than strangers online do. Resentment slowly builds on both sides. We become emotionally accessible everywhere, except where it truly matters. Our mind seeks safety but chooses familiarity instead. The familiar pain feels safer than the uncertain process of healing. Breaking this cycle requires conscious awareness, and that awareness begins by questioning our sharing habits. Ask yourself, why am I posting this right now? Is it for expression? Or am I seeking an emotional rescue? Am I looking for understanding or just for attention? These motivations feel similar, but they are deeply different. One heals while the other drains. Choosing smaller, safer spaces changes everything. One trusted person outweighs 1,000 reactions. Depth restores what exposure destroys. Silence can be protective, not suppressive. Privacy allows our emotions to breathe and mature naturally. Healing often happens away from spectators. Intimacy grows where safety is mutual, not where visibility is maximized. Real connection is slow, and it's sometimes uncomfortable, but it's what strengthens our emotional resilience. Reducing oversharing feels frightening at first because the brain expects the constant feedback. The withdrawal creates temporary emotional discomfort, but that discomfort is a signal of growth, not danger. Over time, your inner stability increases, self-validation replaces external dependence. Your emotions feel less chaotic and urgent. Your relationships regain depth and sincerity. Presence becomes more valuable than posting. Moments feel fuller when they aren't being broadcast. You start listening more than performing. Conversations replace content creation. Understanding replaces reaction seeking. Your emotional energy returns gradually. Loneliness decreases despite fewer interactions because quality has replaced quantity. The echo chamber loses its grip when you stop feeding it your vulnerability. Freedom begins with intentional boundaries. These boundaries protect your emotional well-being. Social media itself is not evil. It's our unconscious use of it that creates psychological harm. Our tools shape our behavior when awareness is absent. Conscious use restores balance and control. So, share your achievements without exposing your wounds unnecessarily. Celebrate publicly, but heal privately. Choose depth over constant visibility. Choose people over platforms. Choose understanding over attention. These choices will reshape your mental health. Loneliness is not solved by exposure. It is solved by genuine emotional presence. Presence cannot be scrolled past. It requires time, attention, and responsibility. Few people can offer this consistently, and that is perfectly normal. Expecting the masses to care deeply is unrealistic. Depth was never meant for crowds. Human connection evolved in small circles, not global audiences. When our expectations align with reality, peace increases, disappointment fades when illusions dissolve. You stop demanding meaning from meaningless spaces and you start building meaning intentionally. This shift restores emotional balance. You feel seen without being watched, heard without broadcasting, valued without performing. This is psychological freedom. This is leaving the echo chamber. It begins quietly, not dramatically. It starts with fewer posts and more conversations. More listening, less explaining. More reflection, less exposure. You reclaim your emotional ownership. You're no longer outsourcing your validation, no longer chasing fleeting reactions. Stability replaces urgency. Calm replaces noise. Clarity replaces confusion. This journey is uncomfortable, but it is necessary. Growth always demands letting go of habits that once felt safe, but safety without depth is just emptiness. Real fulfillment requires emotional courage, the courage to be private, the courage to be selective, the courage to trust slowly, the courage to feel without needing to share. This courage rebuilds connection, not a louder connection, but a truer one. Not a wider reach, but deeper bonds, not constant presence, but meaningful presence. You were never meant to be everywhere for everyone. You were meant to be somewhere real, with someone who listens, someone who stays, someone who understands. And that is enough. That was always enough. Thank you for listening.